In this video, we're going to start the KutaSoftware Infinite Algebra 1 worksheet, two-step inequalities. And I'm going to split this up into 3 different videos, doing 8 problems in each video. So our instructions are to solve each inequality and graph its solution. Number 1, just like when solving two-step equations, there's different steps that you can take. So we're going to have 2x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 24. We need to isolate this x, and we're going to start by subtracting the 4 from both sides to get the term that has the x in it all by itself. That'll leave us with 2x is greater than or equal to 20. Now, all we need to do is divide by 2 to get that x is greater than or equal to 10. So our solution to the inequality is x is greater than or equal to 10, and now we'll graph that. Find the 10, circle, and shade it in, and then we're going to shade everything to the right, because x is greater than or equal to 10. For number 2, we have m divided by 3 minus 3 is less than or equal to negative 6. We're going to start by adding 3 to both sides. When we do that, the term with the m is isolated on the left. M over 3 is less than or equal to negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. Then all we need to do is multiply by 3 over 1, which is the same as multiplying by the whole number 3. 3 over 1 times m over 3 equals m over 1, which is m, less than or equal to negative 3 times 3 is a negative 9. So m less than or equal to negative 9 is the solution to this inequality. We'll find the 9, circle it, and we're going to fill it in, so shade in everything to the left. For number 3, negative 3 times p plus 1 is less than or equal to negative 18. I know that 18 is divisible by 3, so I'm going to start by dividing by that negative 3 as opposed to distributing. Remember, when you divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality sign. So divided by a negative 3, we get p plus 1 on the left-hand side, and then as opposed to less than or equal to, we're going to have greater than or equal to. Negative 18 divided by negative 3 is a positive 6. Then all we need to do is subtract by 1 on both sides to get p is greater than or equal to 5. Circle and fill in the 5, and p is everything greater than or equal to that, so we're shading in to the right. Moving on to number 4. Negative 4 times negative 4 plus x is greater than 56. Let's go ahead and distribute first on this one. We're going to distribute the negative 4 to the negative 4 and the negative 4 to the x. That will give us positive 16 plus a negative 4x is greater than 56. Then we'll subtract both sides by 16 to get that negative 4x is greater than 40. Now we're going to have to divide by a negative 4 on both sides. But remember, since we divided by a negative, we have to flip that inequality sign. So that's going to leave us with negative 4x divided by negative 4 is a positive x, flipping the inequality to less than, and 40 divided by negative 4 is a negative 10. So our solution to this inequality is x is less than negative 10. Find negative 10 on the number line, circle it, and do not fill this in, and then we're going to shade everything to the left of negative 10 since x is less than negative 10. And remember, we do not fill in that circle around the negative 10 since x is not less than or equal to, it is only less than. Now we're about halfway done with our problems, so let's go ahead and continue on with number 5. For number 5, we have negative b minus 2 is greater than 8. We can start by adding 2 to both sides to get that negative b is greater than 10. Then, since this is a negative b, I'm going to have to divide by negative 1 in order to switch the sign. Whatever I do to the left, I do to the right, And I also have to remember, since I'm dividing by a negative, I have to switch this inequality. That'll leave me with b is less than a negative 10 as the solution to number 5. Now all we have left to do is to graph that. Find negative 10, circle it, do not shade that in, but then we're going to shade everything to the left. Number 6, we have negative 4 times the quantity 3 plus n is greater than negative 32. Let's start by dividing by that negative 4 first, since we know that it goes into 32 evenly. On the left-hand side, we'll be left with 3 plus n, and since we're dividing by a negative, we're flipping the inequality. So that'll be less than negative 32 divided by negative 4 is a positive 8. Then we just have to subtract a 3 on both sides to get that n is less than 5. And when we graph that, we're going to circle the 5 and shade in everything to the left. And if you're confused on how you shade, or if you're confused on solving inequalities in general, go to the previous videos or previous practice problems that I've done and just practice understanding which way to shade, what to circle, and what to fill in. On to number 7. We have 4 plus n over 3 is less than 6. So we need to isolate the term with the n in it, and that's n over 3, or 1/3 times n. So we're going to start by subtracting 4 from both sides. When we do that, bringing my work down underneath the number line, we'll have n over 3 on the left-hand side is less than 6 minus 4 is a positive 2 on the right. The next step we'll do is multiply by 3 over 1, which is the whole number 3, in order to isolate that n all by itself. So we'll have n is less than 6, and that's the answer for the inequality in number 7. Now all that's left is to graph it. We're going to circle the 6, but we're not going to fill in that circle, and we're going to shade in everything to the left, since n is less than 6. Now on to the last problem in this video, and then the next video I'll do the next 8 problems. So negative 3 times r minus 4 is greater than or equal to 0. I'm going to start by dividing by a negative 3. When I divide by a negative 3, I'm also going to have to flip the inequality sign. So I'll be left with r minus 4 on the left-hand side, and that's going to be less than or equal to 0 on the right, since 0 divided by any number is 0. Then I'll just add 4 to both sides to get that r is less than or equal to a positive 4 as the solution for this inequality. Go ahead, circle the 4, fill it in, and then shade everything to the left of 4. And we're stopping the video at this point, but continue on to the next video to see the next 8 problems and how they're worked out. Also, remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. In this video, we're continuing on with the 2-step inequalities under Infinite Algebra 1 on the KutaSoftware free worksheets, and we're going to do numbers 9 through 16 in this video, and in the next video we'll finish out the worksheet with numbers 17 through 24. So let's get started with number 9. In number 9, we have negative 7x plus 7 is less than or equal to negative 56. I'm going to start by subtracting 7 from both sides. That'll leave me with negative 7x is less than or equal to negative 63. Then I'm going to divide by a negative 7. And since I'm dividing by a negative, we are going to flip the inequality. So I'll have x is now not less than or equal to, but it is now greater than or equal to negative 63 divided by negative 7 is a positive 9. So circle and fill in the 9 and then shade in everything to the right of the 9 since x is greater than or equal to 9. Number 10, we have negative 3 times p minus 7 is greater than or equal to 21. I know that 3 can go into 21 evenly, so I'll start by dividing by the negative 3. Again, since I'm dividing by a negative, I'm flipping the inequality. So I'll have p minus 7 on my left is now less than or equal to 21 divided by negative 3 is a negative 7. I'm going to add 7 to both sides to get that p is less than or equal to negative 7 plus 7 is 0 as my solution to this inequality. So I'm going to circle, fill in the 0, and then shade everything to the left. And if you have trouble understanding how to shade or what way to shade, go back to one of my previous videos or go to my tutorials where I explain this concept more in depth. Number 11, we have negative 11x minus 4 is greater than negative 15. I'm going to start by adding 4 to both sides. When I do that, I have negative 11x left on the left-hand side, and that's greater than negative 11 on the right, since negative 15 plus 4 is negative 11. Then I'll divide by a negative 11, remembering to switch or flip the inequality sign. Since I divided by a negative, we'll have x is less than a positive 1. Circle the 1, but don't fill it in, and then shade everything to the left. Number 12, we have negative 9 plus a divided by 15 is greater than 1. Remember, the numerator and denominator are completely separate, so pretend there's parentheses around the negative 9 plus a. We're going to start by multiplying by 15 in order to isolate the negative 9 plus a. So multiplying by 15 over 1 is the same as multiplying by the whole number 15. And we'll get negative 9 plus a over 1. So negative 9 plus a is greater than 15. Then we'll add a 9 to both sides. That'll leave us with a is greater than a positive 24, since 15 plus 9 is 24. We're going to circle the 24, not shading it in, but shading everything to the right, since a is greater than 24. On to number 13. Negative 1 is less than or equal to v minus 2 over 21. We're going to start by multiplying by 21 over 1. This will leave us with a negative 21 on the left-hand side is less than or equal to v minus 2 on the right. Then, when we add by 2, we get that negative 19 is less than or equal to v for number 13. Circle and shade in that negative 19, and since negative 19 is less than or equal to v, we're going to shade in everything to the right. If you were to rewrite this, you would say that v is greater than or equal to negative 19. Number 14, we have negative 132 is greater than 12 times n plus 9. We're going to start by dividing by 12. When we divide by that positive 12, we get that negative 11, since negative 132 divided by 12 is negative 11, is greater than n plus 9. Then we're going to subtract both sides by 9 to get that negative 20 is greater than n. Or you could rewrite this and say n is less than negative 20. Either way is correct. So we're going to find and circle the negative 20, not filling it in, and since negative 20 is the maximum value, we're going to shade in everything to the left. On to number 15, we have negative 11 plus n divided by 15 is less than negative 1. We're going to start by multiplying by a positive 15, or 15 over 1, in order to get the negative 11 plus n by itself. So we'll have negative 11 plus n, and that's going to be less than negative 1 times 15 is negative 15. We're going to add a positive 11 to both sides, so that we'll be left with 0 plus n, which is simply n, and that's going to be less than negative 15 plus 11, which is negative 4. Go ahead, circle the negative 4. Do not fill it in though, since n is only less than negative 4. So shade in everything to the left. And finally, on to our last problem in this video, number 16. We have negative 90 is greater than or equal to negative 5 times the quantity k minus 3. We're going to start by dividing by a negative 5. Negative 90 divided by negative 5 is going to be a positive 18. Positive 18 is going to be not greater than or equal to, but less than or equal to, since we have to switch the inequality because we divide by a negative. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 gives us a positive 1, so we're left with k minus 3 on the right. Add 3 to both sides to get that 21 is less than or equal to k as our answer for number 16. Go ahead, circle the 21, fill that in, and shade in everything to the right since k is greater than or equal to that 21. Remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. In this video, we're going to finish up the two-step inequality worksheet on KutaSoftware. We're going to start by subtracting 1 from each side of the inequality. Whatever we do to the right, we do to the left, and vice versa. So this is going to be 3 is less than n over 7. Then we're going to multiply by 7 over 1 to isolate the n, which is the same as multiplying by a whole number 7. 7 times 3 is 21, so we have 21 is less than n. You could also rewrite this as n is greater than 21, remembering to keep the inequality sign oriented the correct way. Now let's go ahead and graph this. Locate the 21. We're going to circle the 21, but we're not going to fill it in since n is only greater than 21. N is not greater than or equal to, it's only greater than. So we're going to shade in everything to the right. Number 18 says negative 1 is greater than 12 plus x divided by 4. We're going to start by multiplying by a 4 over 1, which is the same as multiplying by a positive 4. 4 times negative 1 is going to be negative 4, and that's greater than 12 plus x, since 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 plus x over 1 is just 12 plus x. Our next step will be to subtract 12, so we'll have x on the right hand side, and negative 4 minus 12 is going to be negative 16. So we have negative 16 is greater than x, or we can rewrite this as x is less than negative 16. Either way is correct, just make sure the orientation of your inequality sign does not get mixed up when you switch it around. So x is less than negative 16, we're going to circle the negative 16, and then we're going to shade in everything to the left. For number 19, we have 7n minus 1 is greater than negative 169. We're going to start by adding 1 to each side. That's going to give us 7n on the left, which is greater than negative 168. Then we'll divide by 7 to get that n is greater than negative 24. And since n is greater than negative 24, when we graph that, we're going to circle the 24 and shade everything to the right. Number 20, we have negative 4b minus 5 is greater than negative 25. Start by adding 5 to both sides. When we do that, we're left with negative 4b on the left-hand side, and that's greater than a negative 20 on the right. Then we're going to divide by negative 4. Since we're dividing by a negative, we're going to have to flip this inequality sign. So then we'll get a positive b is less than a positive 5. And since we now have our solution, we can graph by circling the 5 and then shading everything to the left, since b is less than 5. Number 21, 84 is greater than or equal to negative 7v minus 9. 7 can go into 84 evenly, so as opposed to distributing the 7 at the start, I'm just going to divide by a negative 7. When I divide by a negative 7, I have to remember to switch the inequality. 7 goes into 84 12 times, so it's going to be negative 12. Then, remembering to flip the sign, I'll have less than or equal to, so negative 12 is less than or equal to v minus 9. Adding a 9 to both sides will leave me with negative 3 is less than or equal to v. And you could also rewrite this as v is greater than or equal to negative 3. Either is correct. When we graph that, we'll go ahead and circle the negative 3, and we're going to fill that in since v can be equal to negative 3, but v is everything greater than or equal to, so we're shading to the right. On to number 22. Negative 8 plus r all over 2 is greater than negative 8. Start by multiplying by 2 over 1, and we'll get the negative 8 plus r is greater than a negative 16. Adding 8 to both sides will leave us with r is greater than negative 8. So r is greater than negative 8. And when we graph that, we'll circle the negative 8, not filling it in, and then we're going to shade everything to the right. For number 23, we're going to start by adding an 8 to both sides. When we do that, the x over negative 6 will be left on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, we'll have a negative 4. Then we'll multiply by a negative 6 over 1, which is the same as multiplying by a negative 6. That will leave us with x on the left-hand side, and since we multiply by a negative, we're going to have to switch the inequality. So x is going to be now greater than or equal to a positive 24. Circle the 24, fill that circle in since x can be equal to 24, and then we're going to shade everything to the right. On to number 24. M minus 3 over 2 is less than or equal to 5. Multiply by 2 over 1. That'll leave us with m minus 3 is less than or equal to 10, since 5 times 2 is 10. Add a 3 to both sides to get that m is less than or equal to the number 13. Circle and fill in the 13, and then shade everything to the left, since m is less than or equal to 13. And that wraps up this video and the two-step inequality worksheet. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. And as always, go ahead, like this video, and subscribe to my channel.